Hi, this is Mike Mangini, and you're watching CMS TV.
It's Deep Purple, right here on your Classic Metal Show from the Machine Head release. That is Pictures of Home. That one going out by request to Jackal. Just before that, we heard AC/DC from the Fly on the Wall release with Hell or High Water for Winter Steel. Black Sabbath in there with Snowblind for John Phillips. Kiss, Nothing to Lose from the Kiss Alive release for NF 18275. Striper with I'm All Right, I'm Okay for the Electric Fence. And kicking off that block there, we heard Rox Diamond with Get the Let Out for Skippy.
Right on.
Yep. So things just flowing right along here.
Yes, they are. We are rocking it tonight.
We are. All right. Well, since we did some goofy shit in the last segment, I'm sure we'll be doing some music stuff now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that. I do want to bring this one thing up, and I don't know if you know this guy or not, and quite honestly, we almost never do these, but I do want to at least bring attention to this because I do know this guy a little bit, and he's a good dude. Do you know who Dom Larson is?
Yeah, from he used to do that metal thing.
He was on Metal. He writes for Metal Hammer. He writes for Blabbermouth. He writes for a bunch of things. Well, let me put this up. He was at the Bloodstock Fest, and he had a heart attack.
Okay,
and he's not doing great. So,
all right.
So I don't know him real well, but I've interacted 50 times over the years.
Sure.
You know, and he's a good dude. He's one of us. And I'm in a rare moment on this show, I'm going to at least ask people if they give a fuck about people that are like us that love the metal and, you know, support it and put their energy and their time into it. If you can help out, help out. Not saying you have to, not saying you should. Just if you can, look up Dom Larson on GoFundMe and throw a $1 or $2 or $5 or like this guy here $1,000, whatever. You know, I'm not saying do that, but every bit helps when you're dealing with no insurance. Every bit helps. So if you can help out, please do. And that's all I'll say about that. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but that's that.
That's got to be one of the worst things. You know, not as if the heart attack isn't bad enough, but to be at an event and have a heart attack at the event.
Yeah, I mean, how do you, especially if you're like close in the pit or something, how do you even tell people?
You know, how can medical assistance be rendered to you, especially if it's a big festival type situation? It's just like, you know, just not good.
Right. How is it that I knew that if I put this up, immediately somebody would be in there going, Dom's a fucking... And sure as shit, welcome to the chat, Professor Tor.
It's like, again, don't throw any money his way if you think that or whatever. Do it if you want to. Don't do it if you don't want to.
And that's why I did this in like under 5 minutes. Because I just know you can't talk about anything without somebody being an asshole. So whatever. I get along with Dom Larson. I hope he's okay. I have thrown in a couple of bucks. If you can, go ahead. If you can't, don't. If he's do not. Simple as that. All right, let's move forward, shall we? One of our favorites is, of course, Plush. We've known Mariah since before Plush.
Yeah.
You know, we've known Mariah for a while. They are back with a new full-length record. Comes out on September 18th. They released the first single called Animalistic. I've been watching it, you know, kind of from afar and seeing how it's doing. Doesn't seem to be doing that well. Quite well.
This is one of those bands, and we talked about this. You know, they had the benefit of buying on to various opening slots for quite a few different people. Mm-hmm. And they just aren't catching fire.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple reasons why I think they have not caught fire. That is one of them. The other one is way too long between music. Way too long. They put out the EP, I think, in 2024, and they've put out one song since. So since the debut, which came out in 2021, they've put out 7 songs in 5 years. You can't do that as a young band.
Mm-mm.
You just can't do that. You got to be, you got to be more aggressive. The other thing that I think has been a problem up to this point, in my opinion, is that they were catering to the old geezers. Their musically, there's no denying their talent. There's no denying Mariah's talent. If you deny her talent, it's because your fucking ears do not work. The girl can sing. And play guitar. Mm-hmm. That being said, they should really, really not be doing Kiss covers and Alice in Chains covers and Nirvana covers and Heart covers. They should be doing Korn covers, Hailstorm covers, more today music, because they're trying to be a band today. Now, they did with this new song. I think they've kind of been listening to the press a lot, and I think that they're trying to cater more that way as far as trying to be a little more modern, because this new song has absolutely no guitar solo in it, and it really sounds sort of like if The Warning and Disturbed had a writing session. It's what you'd get. And maybe a little White Zombie in it as well. But we'll play some of it. There's no video yet. That's a whole nother thing. How do you first song of an album and you don't come out
even have an AI
lyric,
generated
or a lyric video or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're on tour. They've been playing. They played 4 new ones the other night, which I listened to, and they sound cool. I mean, the new songs sound okay, but I don't know. I like this song a lot, but it's not getting, like, right now. It was released Friday at midnight, so that's basically two days, because we're at Sunday at 1:00. So that's 49 hours. It has 5,500 plays on the official channel. 5,500 plays. That's not going to cut it. Is it?
Well, again, I don't understand. Well, I can't say I don't understand. I do understand it. I just don't know what is considered popular now.
The Warning is I would say The Warning is their sister band, or who they want to be.
Yeah, they're akin to that style.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me just look up The Warning real quick. The Warning, and we'll see what their latest video has. Their latest video, which was released 11 days ago, has 21,000. Oh, that's just a teaser. Let me find an actual song. Here we go. This one was released 2 weeks ago. The song Ritual, 364,000 2 weeks ago. Yeah. 14 days ago.
So they don't even have 500,000.
They don't, but they have 300,000 in 14 days. Plush has 5,000 in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you multiply that by 7, 5 times 7, 35,000 plays. It's like 1/10.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an indicator. And I want to be very wrong on this. I really do, because I obviously I know Mariah and we interact and blah 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 blah. And I'm friends with the label owner as well. Me and Tim King message all the time, mostly about death metal, because he's in that band Embryonic Autopsy. So he's constantly throwing me bands and I'm constantly throwing him bands, but we're friends. So, because I'm friends with them and I'm friends with Mariah, and I know Faith and Ashley a little tiny bit, I would very much like to see them do well, and I hope they do. But
So they're striking out as a 3-piece now.
yes, which again, that's a whole nother. I'm not sure that works for the Warning because they're sisters. It doesn't lend to a great stage show. You know what I mean? Mariah, by being a guitar player and a singer and not using a headpiece, is kind of stuck in one spot for the whole show.
Hey metalheads, tired of waiting for new episodes? Crave the real raw classic metal show? For just $4.99 a month, you can become a CMS VIP. You get every episode a full week early, completely uncensored, and 100% commercial free. It's the only place to interact directly with the show, plus you score the Fast Pass, so your song requests get bumped straight to the head of the line on every live version. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now at classicmetalshow.locals.com and become a CMS VIP today.
Which means, the drummer is stuck in one spot for the whole show. So you really only have one player that can move around a ton. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of, I guess that worked for Motorhead, but I don't think these girls are Motorhead.
Yeah, or Rush.
Or Rush. But Rush moves around too. They if Plush wanted to do themselves a favor, they'd set up they'd go Metallica style and set up like 6 microphones across the stage or something so that Mariah could move around. Move around and get a little more energy going, get the crowd more into it and get more going on. But I don't know. Anyway, we'll play some of the song. We'll see what you think. I personally really enjoy it. I think it's okay. I love the chorus. Whoever the producer is, and let me see who the producer is because I'm going to call them out no matter who it is. Mariah's one of them. All right. Mariah's the producer. I'm going to call Mariah out then, I guess. Whoever made the decision to put an effect on her voice needs to be shot.
The fucky effect.
The fucky effect on her voice. That is a voice that does not need an effect. That is as strong a voice as there is, and they put the fucking effect on it. It's like, what are you doing? So, all right, well, anyway, this is it. This is Animalistic. It is the first single from Mass Hysteria from Plush. Here we go.
Not liking the whole distorted thing.
I don't like that either.
I'm not a fan of that. I don't like it for anybody. I just... Yeah. But to play the entire song through a whole filter, it's just not my thing. I don't like that.
And I mean, they're playing there's 2 ways you can look at it. You can definitely look at it that way, and I'm sort of with you on that. I also see what they're trying to do is not sound like a geriatric band anymore, and they're trying to update the sound to today's standard. And I mean, the Warning do that all the time. I guess I'm just comparing them straight up to the Warning, but Evanescence as well does the same type of stuff. I think the chorus is catchy.
Well, I mean, the song sounds good, but I just don't like playing the entire song through the distortion.
Yeah, it's way overproduced, and that has been what a lot of the comments have been like. This is way overproduced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping the rest of the record isn't like this, but as far as the production sound, I like the song though, and I've watched them. I watched a few of the videos. They've been out on tour since Friday as well, so a few of the songs have popped up on YouTube, and this song sounds a lot better without all the bullshit on it.
Yeah,
where they're just playing. It's just a big, loud, noisy song now.
Yeah,
live.
When the song started, I thought they'd start out with the distortion and then break out clean.
Yeah, break into clean, but they don't. Yeah, you know what this reminds me of? Red Rain, Not That Way 3.0. Remember how much we liked the early versions, and then they worked with what's his name, David Bendeth,
David Ivory,
and it was like so clean and so manipulated, and we both were like, what is that?
Well, it's polished.
Yeah. You're a rock band. You don't need that much polish. All right, let's play a little more. Here we go. Just more human than human.
pretty much.
It's a beat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. But
it's a very noisy song.
it is. And there's all kinds of stuff. There's a guitar lead and an under riff and a filter and some different weird beats going on. I mean, there's a lot going on with this thing, and again, I like it personally. I've played it a bunch of times. And I'm sure our guy Four-Heady Trunk has fucking jerked his dick to it 3,000 times already because he loves Plush, but it's okay. I don't think it's great. I think this one and Why, the one that they did with Disturbed Guy, was kind of took them. I think it's where they're trying to get to as far as getting modern, but they're just not there yet. You know, do they need another guitar player? That's the real question. Because as you can hear with this, there's not really a big guitar solo, and I wonder if they do that because that makes it more difficult to play live.
Well, it's hard to tell if they gear an album toward, what they'll do live with it.
Yeah. I know Mariah prides herself on being a live musician, so I would think, and again, I don't know. I'm sure I'll knock down an interview here in the next month or so, but and I'll definitely be asking. But I'm sure if they can't play it live, then she doesn't want to do it. I'm almost positive of that with her. That if it can't translate to the stage, she doesn't want to do it. But herein lies the problem I see. So they're playing this song live, and in the same set, they're playing Heaven's on Fire, the Kiss tune.
Okay.
That don't work. That doesn't work. They got someone in their camp, Mariah, her dad, Ashley, Faith, whoever, someone in their camp needs to decide what they're going to be. You know what I mean? I don't think you can be a 2026 modern band that also is doing Barracuda on every show that you ever play. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. You either want these geriatric, because right now their audience is all guys my age. Even when you see the audience at these shows, they're old. There's not a ton of kids. There's not like 22, 24-year-old kids at these shows. They're all 50-year-old guys that are, getting hard dicks watching hot chicks jump around on stage. And if you watch the same, like, as weird as it is, even though they went after us and tried to get our channel canceled and all that other shit, I've been kind of immersing myself a little more into the Warning lately, watching a lot of their stuff. And while I don't love what they're doing, I understand what they're doing. And certainly they've grabbed that audience. Their audience, you don't see any graybeards in their audience. It's all 20-somethings. And that's how it should be for a young band, don't you think?
Yeah, well, they didn't start off playing 70s and 80s covers either.
True. That's true. And I just wonder if Mariah doesn't know how to pivot that way. Or if she doesn't want to fully pivot that way because she also has to go back to TSO, which is all guys from the 80s.
Mm-hmm. And that might be her passion too, because obviously when we had her on the show and the fact that she, covered Kicks and she covered Steelheart, she covered Akin and she covered,
Dio and Queensryche and
yeah. So that's kind of like where her her passion lies, obviously, because she does the songs well, and you could tell that she enjoys those type of songs. So you got to wonder if that's where her main passion lies, and then the more modern stuff is just something to put them on a map somehow.
Yeah. Like they use the modern songs just to get on the radio or whatever. Because they did. This song debuted on Octane, Sirius, and I'm sure it'll chart. It's so written for radio. It ain't even funny. Not that radio has a whole lot of impact anymore, But I mean, just the sound of it, the structure, the big hook. It's 3 minutes and 8 seconds long, which a program director loves to death. Anything under 3.5, program directors love that shit. So, I don't know. I wish I was more excited about this one than I am, this song. Because I was praying, I was hoping I was going to hear it and I was going to be like, yeah, I love it. And I do like it. I hope that's coming across that I like the song. I don't love the song. I think they have better songs on their other stuff. But, it is what it is, I guess. So, I'm looking at the chat here. Missing Bella's solos. I think the problem is Mariah just ain't that hot. There's plenty of old fucks in the Warnings fan base. Okay. They're just outnumbered by the young 12. Well, that would be okay too. If Plush's audience was 60-40 and the 60 was people their age, I think they would be a hell of a lot farther than they are. I really do. I think they would be. I'm going to be anxious to see if they get, from what I've heard, and I don't know this to be true, but what I've heard is their contract with Pavement ends in next year. And they may just renew. Who knows? I know that they loved him. But you know a band like this is going to get the Jason Floms of the world that are going to come out and say, hey, well, we can do this that Pavement couldn't do. And, just come on over here and look at what we did with The Warning. And, that's going to happen at some point at some of these shows, I mean, you've been around the business to know that happens a lot.
I mean, if they're able to get interest from other, for lack of a better term, labels these days, that's a compliment, know. But if a label doesn't see them as being a valuable commodity, they're not gonna approach them for to sign them to make a deal.
Yeah. I think a label would probably look and know that because they continue to have a lot of buzz on them. Even though the songs have not, skyrocketed them, there's a lot of buzz on them. And, I watch from afar because, as I've said a bunch of times, I'm friendly with quite a bit of this camp. So I really don't want to blow that up by being an asshole. But I mean, sometimes I see things with what they're doing. I'm like, what are you guys fucking doing? And I'm just thinking it to myself. I'll say it here. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Last night, I think it was last night, sometime, I think they've played 3 gigs, and one of the gigs is in some club that is an old church. And it looks like the church. It doesn't look like it's been renovated and turned into a rock club. Mm-hmm. It looks like a church. And I know the whole deal about how many rock clubs have closed and this and that, and you got to play where the gig is, and if they're paying, you go. I get all of that. But in the YouTube age, and it looks like you're playing a church hoedown, that's a bad look. Don't you think? Let me find it. Let me find the video real quick. Let's see. You tell me if maybe I'm making stuff up. I could be. Because, again, I have a sort of an interest in this.
Well, who were they playing with?
They're the headliner.
They're the headliner.
Yeah, it's them and this band Major Moment. Okay. I don't have as many nice things to say about them. I don't like them at all. But let's see here. Plush Church 2026. See if I can't find. Yeah, look at this. Let's pop. This is one of the new songs too. This is the title track. But look at and again, I know it doesn't matter, but it kind of does.
Yeah. Well, they're just playing. Again, this makes them look like a local garage band.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, if this is truly a rock club now, you play where there's a club. And certainly COVID fucked so many rock clubs that closed. So this might be what's available in whatever city this was. Newburgh? Is that New York? Newburgh, New York?
Newburgh, New York. It's up on the New York Thruway.
Yeah. So it's not exactly a haven for music anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'll play a little bit. You tell me, the song is fine, but the ambiance is like, all right, well, I'm waiting for somebody to come up and stick a wafer in their mouth or something. Here we go. And the song is fine. The ambiance is, like you said, local band.
Yeah. And what's this bassist name?
Ashley.
She's got to lose that sweater top.
Yeah, that's kind of weird for her. She's usually kind of
wearing?
She's usually the fashion one too of the three of them.
It's like, wait, what is this?
I don't know. Maybe it's cold there. Who knows?
I mean, Mariah, she's decked out in her leathers and shit, and she looks like she's going to like some kind of a high school football game or something.
Yeah. Well, I hope they do well. I really do, and I'm looking forward to getting the album here in the next week or so and checking it out. And I will.
And the other thing, as far as the marketing, and we talked about this they don't have a cohesive look.
They're getting better at that. This is a terrible example of it, but
no, I'm not talking specifically about this.
Yeah,
but they just don't have an identity. You know what I mean? They don't have a look about them.
Yeah, I mean they probably should. And again, I go back to the warning. The warning is doing everything pretty much right.
Mm-hmm.
When one of them is wearing white, they're all wearing white. When they bounce between white, red, and black, but they're coordinated. They do have a look, and I mean, let me find the Plush. Let me find the Blabbermouth story, because in that regard, they are sort of putting a look together, I guess, sort of. I mean,
but it should be a coordinated thing, you know, because with anything, identity. See that's
that works.
That works.
They should be wearing that shit on stage, even if they wear it every night on stage. If that's all they got, that's what they should be wearing. Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that, because that looks like a band.
Yeah.
Looks like these fucking chick marauders are coming into my town. I agree with you, but they don't always do that for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's that whole, we don't need the man, we don't need the look. And
yeah, well, but the thing is people can identify you by your look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And instead, when the YouTube videos are out there and they're all dressed differently and
playing in a church,
and it's just like, okay, this is just sort of like some local band.
Yeah, it doesn't feel bigger.
Mm-mm.
And that's what a band is. When you're paying money to see a show, they're supposed to be bigger than you. And you're right, they're not doing that consistently enough. And maybe they'll get into it once they get further in the tour. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is it's time's running out here.
Yeah, well,
that window is about closed.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of that with people on like Reddit and stuff saying it's too late already. A lot of people are saying this too. A lot of people are saying it more because they waited so long between music. They just let it die. With 6 songs or 7 songs, whatever, in 5 years.
Well, my prediction is if this doesn't do anything for them, this band's over.
This album?
Yeah.
Could be.
I said that's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it. I just wonder what follows that.
Mariah doing something solo.
But Mariah doing something solo is almost what she's doing now.
I understand that, but it's under the banner of Plush.
Yeah.
If she's able to break out somehow as a solo artist and have her name out there.
Yeah. Do you think she would have to change styles? Not be rock anymore?
No, I think she would. It's hard to say. I mean, I see her more like a modern day Joan Jett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
She's a front woman. She's a rocker. She obviously she can sing and play and so on and so forth. And she's like a solo, like to go back to even in the 70s as a solo rocker, like a Susie Quattro.
Yeah, but
singer.
Susie Quattro. If that's the bar you're shooting for, Susie Quattro, that's not a real high bar.
No, I'm talking about the image and the image and being a solo, female vocalist.
Right.
Or even Doro.
Yeah. I think one thing that she needs
Doro was part of Warlock, and Warlock went away, and Doro continued as Doro.
Right. Doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one thing that Mariah would serve her best, honestly, and this is no slight at how well she plays guitar, but she needs to put the guitar down. She needs to have a guitar player in the band to be the singer. She's doing too much bullshit. I mean, she's writing the song, she's producing the shit, she's playing on it, she's singing it. Be the front person. Write the songs, sing the songs. Let the other people do the other stuff. And again, and that's not a slap even against her as a guitar. She's a really good guitar player, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, out of all this, and I know it just sounds like we're just bagging on this really hard.
No, not at all. It's all it is just constructive criticism.
Yeah. I 1,000% want to see them do well. I really, really do. I would love for the first time in fucking 35 years that I would have to watch the Grammys to see if they won one. Just because it would be cool to see somebody that we've known, when she was playing in her bedroom, it would be very cool to see that go all the way to getting a Grammy or some shit like that. But we shall see. All right, so that's what's going on with Plush.
Looking for the ultimate home for hard rock and heavy metal 24 hours a day? Then lock into CMS Radio at cmsradio.net. Choose from 2 killer channels. CMS 24/7 features classic episodes from the history of the Classic Metal Show, plus a daily rebroadcast of the latest CMS episode with music every day at noon Eastern. Or crank up CMS Rocks, your non-stop hard rock and metal station, featuring Charlie Kendall's Metal Shop every Monday at 7 a.m., 10 a.m., and 6 p.m. Eastern. Whether you're on your phone, tablet, or computer, the soundtrack to your day is waiting. CMS Radio. Loud, heavy, unfiltered. Tune in now at cmsradio.net.